to Wargaming World, to France 1940, and to another game of Chain of Command. Just before I start, just wanted to say thanks very much to everybody who is a member of the Chain of Command France 1940 Facebook group. Started that about 3 years ago. Obviously, as a very keen Chain of Command player, and didn't know if anybody might join it, but as we're just at a point of getting about 1,000 people, I thought it'd be good to mention it at the start of this game. I've done a few things in advance in terms of the patrol phase, get the jump off points there, so I'm going to show you where they are and what the objective is of the game itself. The game itself is the patrol, so it means we haven't got a lot of support units, etc. And I've been quite deliberate in the French and German units, which I'll explain in a moment. In the patrol phase, and I'm going to say that this game really is about trying to take this road. So it means that it's the Germans who are here, and so we've got one jump off point in this building, and then we've got two more jump off points at the back there. So the Germans really have got the upper hand by having a lot of control of this road. And the French, as they advance, we've got a jump off point here by the stone wall. We've got one in Hotel Napoleon, and then we also have one here in the allotment area. Now, if it wasn't hard enough already for the French, I've already done the morale 2, and the French will start on an 8 and the Germans on an 11. Now in the game here, what we've got to do is, this is the objective, as I said, and what we try and do is to knock out either side and have a morale which still is on 3 for an outright victory. Otherwise, if not, it's a dishonourable draw. As I mentioned, this is the scenario that we're following. So when I rolled originally, got a 1 for the French, and that means they're up here in this corner. And I did for the Germans too, but it's actually on the other side. So where we've got our German forces over here on the left hand side. So this is the force that I'm going to use. So this particular platoon, so it's a force rating of -1, and although I don't have lots of them, these will be the figures I'm using, although not the ones on horseback, although I did use them when I was doing the patrol phase. So for parity, I use the second wave German platoon, again starting at -1. Then I rolled to see about support and only got a 2, so it means that we have just something from list 1. So for both the Germans and the French, I've added a medic to their force. Right, the Germans have got better morale, so we'll start the game. Whenever I use the Germans, it's going to be black dice, French it'll be blue. Let's see what we've got. So 6 isn't very good, and then 1, 2, 3, and a 5 is the first for the chain of command points. Right, okay, so if I want to cover the road, one of the things I want to take is the church. So with the 1 and the 2, I've brought out the medic, and a 2 is it's 6 inches away from the jump off point in that building. And then over on the other side there, similarly, I've moved a full squad out, and it's also on Overwatch. French phase. We've got 3 1s, a 2 and a 3. Right, so we're using those dice. I've brought out 1 full section. I brought out a senior leader and a VB team. German phase. So it's another 5, so up to 2 with the chain of command dice. 6 is a waste, and then we've got 2 1s and a 2. With a 4, I'm going to bring on a senior leader, order the unit to move, and the medic, get the unit to move. The double, which is 14, medic will also move. That's where we finish. Senior leader is on board. We've got the medics moved forward. This unit has moved up to the church. And I would have 2 teams with a point of shot, but the senior leader has taken 1 of them off. French phase. What have we got here? So we've got 2 points for the chain of command dice. We've got 1 6, and then we've got 2 1s. So effectively we're just going to move that unit, I think. we have already on the table. How far do we move? 5 inches.
They get to. Senior leader is moving with them.
German phase, 2 5s, take it up to 4 with the chain of command dice, 2 and a 3. Junior leader will order will take the point of shock off and then order both teams into the church. 7 inches.
Think about it can be operated from a 1 to a 4, so as such, then he's going to move into the church alongside the infantry.
French phase. French double phase, and we've got a 1, a 2 and a 4. Now with a 4, I think it's quite realistic that I would order as the senior leader this unit to move at the double towards the church. Why wouldn't I? And I also don't know the Germans are in there, so let's move. So that's 10 inches. I know we would have shock for each of the teams, but because I've got a senior leader I can take both of those off. So 10 inches forward and the senior leader is moving with them. Okay, so we've deployed the unit here, and on the other side with the 1 and the 2 I've then deployed this unit within 6 inches of that jump off point, and I've also got the medic in with it. So both of these units are advancing with the intention of getting and taking this church. So next thing is another French phase. Not a double phase. Now we've got a 1, 2, 3 and a 4. Right, we've got a 4, so that unit would just do exactly the same as been ordered before. So to move at the double up to the point of, you can't get into the building, I don't think, but it can get as near as damn it. So that's the intention, that's what it's been doing all the way along this road. So the senior leader would order the same thing. This unit here is going to be moved towards the church, but we've got to move over a low building, removing the lowest number by moving that unit via the senior leader. So we're talking 9 inches. Unit next to it, 6 inches. You need to do the same for the medic using the 1. So I think that's 3 inches. This looks a bit chaotic, but I can't think of a reason why this wouldn't happen. It's now got very close to the Germans within 4 inches, so I think there's hand-to-hand combat here. I'm going to have to go away and work it out, and then I'll come back to you with what's happening. Before I do though, I'll just think about what I use the 3 for. Okay, well I'll deploy the scout team here and on Overwatch. Right, okay, calculated that, and it ends up, well certainly for the first action, is going to be 26 for the Germans, 16 for the French. So we have a calculation of that. So you've got 9 men, 2 for the junior leader, 3 for the movements of the French. We've got 2 for a submachine gun and 4 for a light machine gun. And then I'm going to say it's light cover being defended rather than hard cover. Remembering the Germans came in, all the French are coming in through the front door there. I don't think they're in a defensive position, but I still think it's the advantage to the Germans. So we start off with 26. The French, just for the numbers, we've got 11 men, we've got 3 for the senior leader, 2 for the junior leader, taking it to 16. That's before the second attack, but let's work out the first. Right, so I'm going to have to roll 13 dice twice, so 5s and 6s. Surprisingly, it's only 3 with 2 additional shock. Roll. So that's 7 in total with 3 shock. French, 2 rolls of 8, 1 with 1 shock. And that's 4 in total with 3 shock. Let's just see if that includes a leader. 6, no it doesn't. Well, what do we know with the French? We know that with 7 casualties we've got at least 1 either junior or senior leader who's wounded. We need to roll again. If we roll a 1 and twice, no it's not. So we've got 6 infantry to remove of the 2 teams, so 3 of each, but we want to see whether the injury is to the senior or the junior leader. It's junior. It is. 5, he takes a wound. No, that's a bad thing. 3, I think, is -1. It is a -1, so the French are down to 7. So the unit has lost by 3, so it runs away 12 inches, which it has, away from the enemy. And it also takes an additional 2 points of shock for each team, so we've got 7. And we've got 7 men in total there, so it's not exceeded, so it's not pinned,
But that's where that unit is. So that's after the first action. We've also got this second unit. Now, when we've got two actions, we can say it's sort of simultaneous or one at a time, as it were. So I'm going to make it slightly different to the first one. I'm going to say that I think whilst I haven't done it simultaneous, I'm going to say when the second action takes place, I don't believe that the Germans are defending this in the same way they were first time round. They'll still have an advantage in the defence using a light machine gun, but not in terms of getting multiples for hard cover. I think some of the unit would be entering at the same time, etc. So anyway, I'm going to change that, and obviously this unit has slightly less men also, so let's just work out how many dice we roll. Right, we're still going to have advantage to the Germans. They're going to have 14, so I'll count that through. 5 men, plus 2 for junior leader. We've got 2 because the French moved with 2d6. 2 for the submachine gun, 4 for the light machine gun. I'm not going to say they are defending because I'm going to say there's been action between in the first attack, etc. So it's all mixed up together a little bit. And it's going to be -1 because they've got 3 shock. So if it's for every 2 points. So that gives us 14 for the Germans. More straightforward with the French. We've got 11 men, and then we've got a junior leader, which means we've got 13 in total. Just to mention, I do have medics with both of these, but I haven't counted them in terms of numbers for the action. 14 dice for Germans. That's 6 in total with 3 extra shock. 13 for the French, and that's 4 with 3 points of shock. I know that the French have taken casualty with the leader. What happens to him? So 1. He's killed. So what's the impact of that with a 5? It's going to be a minimum of -2, I'm sure. And the French are down to 5. The junior leader of the Germans were hit. No, he wasn't. So it's 4 men. Right, this unit's withdraw with, he has to go back by 9 inches from the church. And effectively, I'm going to say that at this stage in the game, with these 2 units moving back and the Germans holding this church, I'm going to say at the first phase of this game, it's certainly a German victory. So I don't see any point in continuing where the French are on 5, the Germans are on 11 at this stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset where we are in terms of jump off points. The Germans are going to hold a further line forward and have a look at some options in terms of a French counterattack. Okay, so we've got a second game. This time the Germans have advanced, so we've got a jump off point at the church, so it can be deployed anywhere in the church. The other side, you'll just see there's a jump off point there just before the orchard, and then we've got third back in this one, in this building, and so we've got an attack and defence game. So very much going to be the French attacking. Let's have a look at their jump off points. A little bit further back, so we've got here 1 in the allotment area, we've got 1 there just next to that shed, and again 1 inside the hotel. Now I've got an attack and defence game, so what we're going to do is I'm going to roll 2d6, ignore an 11 or 12, and we're going to see how many support points we can have for the attacker, which is the French, and then we've got half for the Germans. But I will say we've got a different French force attacking, which has +1 as its strength, and therefore we're going to have another 2 points for the Germans for support. So let's roll. So what have we got in terms of support? 10. Right, okay. So we've got 10 for the support, so the Germans would get 5, but as I mentioned it's +2, so we're going to get 7 support, and 10 for the French. So who are the attacking force? Well, we'll see once we start to deploy. So let's have a look at morale. Right, okay. So Germans, after taking some casualties, aren't too keen, so they're going to start on an 8, French on a 9. French are attacking. First one for the chain of command dice, and then we've got a 1, 2 twos and a 3. Okay. I had a 1, 2 twos and a 3. One of the support elements for the Germans is a pre-game barrage, so I rolled. However, I managed to get 3 across, but the fourth unit I failed. 3 units I've deployed are the Senegalese, 2 units here, and then the third just over there at the back. So over to the Germans. 2 to the chain of command dice and a 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pass for the Germans on that one. Remembering the game still is the objective is taking these roads. I'm going to see how the French advance a little bit before I deploy the Germans. I wasted 6, 1 for the chain of command dice, and then 2 1s and a 2. This is the problem of a combination of bringing on support, but the aim is to get the units as close as possible and as quickly as possible, so I'm just going to move these 2 units forward. Stand at 2 inches. Why bother? Unit 7 inches. Effectively, we finish here. Ah, right. Now that's really significant. Got a 2 and a 4 to use in a second, but that is an end of turn. So I did have a pre-game barrage for both the Germans and for the French, so that goes out the window. But I also have unreliable support, so I need to roll for that to see if it remains, and then I will deploy the French with 2 and the 4 before, the Germans with the 2 and the 4 before we re-roll. So I have 3 British support units. First of all, I need to avoid a 1 and a 2, which I do. An officer, which I do. So they aren't on the board yet, but they'll continue in turn 2. I want to deploy a unit in the church. I still need, it's the end of turn after this phase, so I do still need to roll actually to see if this unit will come on. No, they won't. So we're on turn 2 then. I'm not going to deploy, I had a 4, but I'm not going to just deploy a senior leader on his own, so let's go to turn 2. And that gives another point in the chain of command dice. We've got a 1 and 2 3s. Right, so with the 3 I'm going to deploy, so I've deployed this unit in the church. I'm going to say that a machine gun's going to fire through the, well, actually, a machine gun could fire actually through one of the windows, and then I'm going to say 4 rifles also can fire. And with the 1 and the 3 I brought out a senior leader as well, so I'm not going to have a senior leader plus a junior leader adding machine gewehr, but I am going to say the senior leader can. So one with the other, we've got 8 for the machine gun. We have 4 rifles firing, so that will be 12, and machine gewehr is an additional 3, so that's 15. 15 firing at effective rather than close range at the units coming through here. They'll get soft cover. Okay, 15 dice needing 5s. We've got 4 hits, and there's actually 4 teams effectively who are hit over here. So blue and black in the same unit. After that, no effect. Okay, so French phase. Oh, French double phase. Okay, 2 2s and a 4. Okay, I don't have any Senegalese senior officers, unfortunately, so marked out this one. It's 9 inches away from the jump off point. It's going to order this unit here to move at the double and take a point of shock off, and the one here just to move normally so it can move over that obstacle. There we go, so 14 inches. The unit finish here, and on the other side they finish here, and over here, oh crikey, 16 inches. Right, that's an enormous charge. So moved into this field. Next French phase. Now that's useful. 2 1s, 2, 3 and a 4. Particularly useful because what I brought as support were the 2 British 2-inch mortars. So both of those will now fire smoke. And the target is the front of that church. Green dice for the British, I think. What have we got? A 6 and a 4. And with a line of sight, that's fine to smoke up the front of that church. Okay, so we've got a 2, 3 and a 4. So the 4 is we're going to have, it's going to take off a point of shock from that unit, order it to move, and then with the 3rd
of his commands. He's going to order this unit to move at the double, and he's within 4 inches, so he's moving with it. 3 over here. Move this unit at the double. There's a commander at the back within 4 inches, so he's going to move with them as well, so I don't really need the 2. This unit's going over this hedge, so I need to move or remove the lowest number, so it's going to be 5 inches. Moving at the double, 3 dice. Oh, another one, crikey, so 16 inches. Finally, this unit over here, 13 inches. Suddenly, things look very different. So, you've got the Senegalese really sprinting across here. So, what's going to happen with the German counter to this? We've got, oh, crikey, right. So, 2 for the chain of command dice takes it up to 5, and then 2, 3, 4. Alright, this took a bit of working out. So, with a 2, I brought on the unit here. This building's got loads of windows, so it'll be firing from there. The 4, I've got the senior leader is going to get the units to move across over to these windows, and over on the other side there I've got I've put another table, a unit on the table. There's 3. They're going to fire at those Senegalese advancing. Okay, so we've got 14 dice needing 5s. That's 5 hits. Black dice are on the machine gun team. Units in the open. Alright, so that's 2 rifles killed and also 2 machine gun killed. If it's a leader, yes it is. Leader, what happens to him? He's knocked unconscious. 3 in the rifle team, yes it is. 4 is a -1, French down to 8. Over here, I'm saying that not all the rifles can fire, 4 of them can fire, but we've got a junior leader with machine gewehr, so we're looking at 14 firing in total, but also it's in close range. Now it's 4s. And that is 7 hits. Soft cover. That's 3 shock across 2 teams. French phase. We've got 2 2s and a 4. Right, with the 4, we've got an inferior senior leader. He's got 2 orders, so he can take a point of shock off this unit, so it's down to 1 for the 2 teams, and then order it to move. He could order it to go at the double, which means he'd definitely get to the unit, but then again they'd have moved 3d6, so instead we're going to just try and get there in 2 within 4 inches to make contact. I'll take a point of shock off and roll 2d6, and fingers crossed for the French. You need 6, and they definitely haven't made it. Right, with the other 4, I've brought in the last of the support for the French, which is a British senior leader, and is going to order the mortars to fire the building at the back here, this being the target. Certainly 1 on target. 6 inches to the right, that's 4 inches. A d6 with rolling a 4, so it's 4 inches to the right hand side, with the 1 that's aimed at the right of the centre is still sufficient. It's 2 inches across those 2 windows, so that's covered. German phase though, and oh, now we've got 3 5s, so in actual fact we've only got a 2 to operate with. Immediate danger, I think, is over here. So just with the 2, we're going to fire that squad. So we've got 4 rifles and we have 1 machine gun, so it's 12 dice. 4s. It's 9 hits. Now I'm going to say the front team, which is the rifle team, I'm going to say they're in the open as they advanced. So what have we got there? We've got 3 points of shock and 1 kill. I think in soft cover. So we've got 1 kill and 3 points of shock. Leader. No, it's not. A slight change. I've realised that because they already had 1 point of shock each, they shouldn't have actually moved at all in the last phase, which means they would have remained in soft cover. If they were in soft cover, then the 2 3s I've just rolled wouldn't have counted. So instead, we've got 1 point of shock and 1 kill, and then all of the shock remains on the other units, so that's fine. So that in fact will be 2 and 4 shock, respectively. French phase. Lots of 3s and a 1. Okay, so I've got some options for the French, but I do feel like the game is slipping away from them. If only because although I've got smoke to stop the French getting fired at, it doesn't mean I'm doing anything against the Germans. They need to remove them, and the French are starting to take some casualties in these 2 units. So let's try and turn that round. I'm going to get this unit here, it's on a 3. I'm to take off a point of shock, and I'm going to fire at the units at the window of the church. They're in hard cover. On the far side there, we've got a 3, so I'm going to take off a point of shock and move the unit into some kind of cover by the stone wall. Now I've got a 3 and a 1, so I'm going to actually use the senior leader, the British senior leader, and I'm going to get the two mortars to fire at the Germans over on that side. They'll be in the open, start to try and get some kind of impact.
Let's start with the mortars, needing 4s. We got there, that's 2 hits. Green is the machine gun team. We got there, so actually they're in the open, so it's a rifle is killed. If it was a leader, no it wasn't. Over there you need to -5 for shock. A couple of inches. They've moved and will get cover, but they're fairly immobilised.
Firing over here, actually we've got the senior lead takes off 1 point of shock, so we've only got 1 shot left. And actually we'll have 14 dice because we've got a machine gun for 6 and then we've got 8 rifles. In 4, 5 and 6 it's still within 18. That doesn't look awfully good. A very modest 4. With the machine gun team needing 5 and 6 because it's in hard cover, but we've got 1 point of shock and 1 casualty. Leader. No it's not. German phase. Alright, so we've got 3 1s, a 2 and a 3. Okay, so with a 1 I've brought on the German support, which is a tripod machine gun, and with an entrenchment, and they're going to fire down here at the unit in the open. Needing 4s. That looks like 6 hits. In the open I'm going to say that blue is the machine gun team, so that looks like 1 for the machine gun team, and there's a point of shock on each. See if it's the leader. No, it's not. 3 and 1 together. It means I've got a senior leader. He can take the point of shock off the unit in here, and then can add 2 to machine gun firing. We've got 4 windows, so I've got a machine gun plus 5 rifles because the rifle got knocked out. So therefore we've got 13 firing at this unit in soft cover. Actually it was 15 once we add machine gun, needing 4s, and that ends up with 7 hits. Soft cover, black being the machine gun team, 3 points of shock and 1 kill. Leader. And no, it's not. I'm going to say that this unit's moved into hard cover. Still be fired at though, so it's going to be a machine gun, which is 8 plus 4 rifles, 12, and we're going to say it's machine gun, so 14 dice. 4s, and that is 8 hits. Hard cover. Blue is the machine gun team, and that's quite a few people killed there. I think that looks like 2 in the machine gun team, 1 in the rifles. Is it a leader? Yep. 3 junior leader, but it's a senior leader. He takes a leader wounded. Bad thing, so I think that's a -1. The French down to 7. And before we finish on this, I'm going to interrupt. I've got a chain of command dice, so I'm going to use this machine gun firing again at this unit in the open. 10 dice, needing 4s. 4 hits. Units in the open. Looks like 1 kill in the machine gun team, which is blue, and 1 point of shock. No, it's right. Not. At this point I'm going to call it. It's going to be a German victory. There is no way I can begin to shift the Germans from this position. My aim was to try and get the Germans in the church, so smoked out there perhaps. But as the French start taking casualties on this side, it's getting nowhere fast really. And on the other side, the idea, really, my hope was that that unit might be able to get engaged with a bit of hand-to-hand combat, maybe shift that unit on the right-hand side. But it's not really worked out. Actually, I think I probably should have had perhaps a 4th unit with my support to try and move through. What I didn't get, or didn't think was useful, was a vehicle. It wasn't coming in here. So yeah, perhaps it was a 4th unit, but really the Germans, by winning the first game, getting that church, getting in an advanced position, were just too strong. So yep, this is definitely a German victory. Right, so that just leaves me to say thanks very much for watching. Thanks for being a member of the Chain of Command France 1940 fan group. If if you want to join that, then feel free. Get us up to 1,000 members, and much appreciated, obviously, to the Too Fat Lardies, and what they've put together is a great game for us all to play. So, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.